manufacturers of an elixir also manufactures a drug to help people who have adverse effects from having received through an injection this elixir. Isn't that something? Some of their $19 billion in profit for the reported period were from a drug that is required for people with myocarditis. Anyway, the elixir is very effective, 95%, so you only need an extra injection about 6 months or so after that, because science, or perhaps because profits for big pharma. Oh, and the extra injection is also 95% effective, so we have that to look forward to. Look, this topic is just one example of how warped and crooked our world is, but it's where God has placed us in this time, in this geography. And what we have to do is live as children of God without fault and shine among these folks, as warped and crooked as the world is, like stars in the sky, holding firmly to the word of life. We have the word of life. Don't ever forget it. They're selling death. Right, we have new ground to cover today in chapter 3. And the first thing to notice from our reading today, which you'll see on page 3 of your worship folder, is that Paul starts this section with the word finally. Now, a student of Paul's letters would not be surprised to see that word finally, because Paul has just finished giving instructions about travel and Timothy and Epaphroditus, and he often ends his letters with some sort of housekeeping matters in reference to various people who are helping him or who he's sending to help to the readers of the letter. But if you flip through the pages of your Bible, you can see that he's not actually anywhere near finished with this letter. Seems like he started to write finally, and then the Spirit gave him a second wind, because he has a lot more to say through the breath of God that's animating him. The prophet Nehemiah assures the people of Israel in Nehemiah chapter 8 that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Psalm 149 says, "Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king." In this letter to the Philippians, already this is the 10th reference to joy or rejoicing. And we'll see more before we're finished with the letter. This emphasis on joyfulness, yes, why? But Proverbs 17 gives us some advice about that. A merry heart does good like a medicine. This is an ancient Near Eastern medicine, for clarity. But a broken spirit dries the bones. And friends, why should we not be joyful in the Lord? He's given us a word of life. That should be occasion enough for joy. We have each other in this community of radical humility. That's an occasion for joy. We have the assurance of peace with God as he makes all things new and gathers to himself the people he's drawing. More joy. The list of reasons for joyfulness is endless. So Paul says, finally, rejoice in the Lord. Just do it. Make it happen.